Okay, if I can have everyone's attention, good morning again to everyone, and welcome to Michigan International Speedway. We are going to continue our availability here today and officially kick off our driver availability with Kyle Larson, driver of the number 42 Target Chevrolet. Kyle, impressive stats here at Michigan. You've got 3 national starts here, 1 in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series, 2 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, all top 10 finishes. Talk a little bit about how excited you are to be back here this weekend.
Yeah, I enjoy Michigan. It's a 2-mile racetrack, I think, and it seems like I like the 1.5 to 2 mile tracks the best. It's where I run the best, and have 3 good finishes here. Got close to winning a nationwide race last year, and possibly could have had a cup win earlier this year if I didn't speed on pit road. So excited about this weekend. I think we'll have a good Target Chevy, and excited to get on the track. I think we learned a lot last time we were here, and then we've learned even more throughout the races since then. So excited about that. I think we should have a good run. Just got to put it all together, shoot for a win, but then also can't do anything too out of the ordinary to hurt our finish, because we have to gain a lot of points still to try and make the chase if we don't have a win.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start right up front in the middle with Claire. Then we'll go to Bob.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. NASCAR just announced the formalization of the policy for drivers in caution in the cars when an incident happens. Your reaction, I'm sure you've got a chance to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically still the same rules we've had. I think there's kind of reminding us and maybe going to be stricter with it, where we have to stay in the car until the safety workers get to us, and then stay in line under cautions and things like that, which is basically what we do now. I think they're just, like I said, just reminding us, and then they're, if you're on fire or something, you obviously have to get out. So it's good that they're reinforcing it and like I said, reminding us again.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob, then go to Nate.
Bob Hawker, Sporting News. Obviously, you raced a lot with Tony in sprint cars. What was your reaction when he would show up, and what type of driver is he in sprint cars, maybe compared to Cup? Is he the exact same guy, or does he race any differently?
No, Tony, I mean, he he's a tough competitor, so he races hard in a stock car, a sprint car, a midget, street car, whatever. And before I got to NASCAR and racing with Tony Stewart was awesome. You'd see his trailer pulling the track, and you'd get more amped up, try a little bit harder. He does a lot for the sport, and I think when he goes to sprint car races, it's his place to get away and relax a little bit. And like I said, I always enjoyed when he'd come to the racetrack, and still enjoyed seeing him whenever he would venture out and go back.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Nate, then we'll go over to MRN.
Nate Ryan, USA Sports. Kyle, you have a lot of experience and knowledge of sprint car racing, having driven and knowing the nuances of the sport. I'm just wondering your reaction to that Saturday incident. Have you seen the video? Have you watched it? And do you have any opinion, having been behind the wheel of one of those things, on what you saw?
Yeah, first off, just thoughts and prayers are still with everybody involved, especially the Ward family. I've never raced there, so I don't really have an opinion on much of anything, because you don't know how the lighting is there, and it's just really tough to have an opinion on it when you weren't part of it. And really, there's only one guy that knows what happened, or two, and one's not here anymore. So it's kind of hard for any of us to have an opinion on it when we don't 100% know what was going on.
Okay, we'll take our next question over here and then come back up front.
Hey, Kyle, Tyler Burnett, MRN over here. You head to Bristol next week. You just mentioned you're good at this track as well. So you have 2 straight tracks you're really good at, and Bristol suits your driving style as well. Talk about heading to Bristol next week and your chances there.
Yeah, I like Bristol a lot. I think because it's high banked, fast, momentum, it suits my driving style pretty well. So nationwide, we've always run well there. I think I've gotten top 5 every time I ran there in a nationwide car, and I think we were 10th or 11th there in the Cup car. So looking forward to getting there. I think these next 4 tracks before the chase start is is a good string of tracks for me. So excited about that. Just gotta put the whole race weekend together every track we go to.
Okay, we'll take another question up front, and then come back to Nate and David.
I'm Jeff Papworth on the Daily Telegram. You've been in contention in so many races with more top 10 finishes than a lot of racers who have already sealed their chance to get into the Cup. What do you think you have to do to get over the hump, and what would it be like to get that win and seal the deal in your first year in the Sprint Cup?
Yeah, just make a little bit less mistakes. I feel like as a rookie, I still make some mistakes out there. As you can see on pit road, I've sped a lot, which is weird because I never sped at all last year. And then, there's lots of things little things that could help our chances of winning races. We just gotta, like I said, put a whole race weekend together, a whole race together, limit our mistakes, and hopefully we can get a win. I think, I'm pretty aggressive on restarts, and it seems like I gain, spots on restarts and stuff. Just got to get better at everything, and I'm sure the wins will come.
Okay, we'll take a follow-up from Nate.
Kyle, the Indianapolis, Pocono, Michigan stretch in this part of the season is when teams usually start rolling out like their next generation chassis and like what they're going to have for the chase and their new engine packages and such forth. Where do you feel like Ganassi kind of stacks up right now? Because it looks like you guys are kind of keeping pace, like with the I guess the 7th at Indy and you had the pole at Pocono. And I know you guys have Hendrick engines, but do you feel like overall you guys are kind of keeping pace with the really top teams right now?
I think so, and I feel like we've actually maybe been getting better than or quicker than what they have. Like you said, we got the pole. We've been running in the top 10 every week for a couple months now. I feel like aside from those 3 bad runs we had, which was bad luck, I think we had top 10s before that too. So like you said, every team's getting better. I don't know if we're building new cars or what. I'm not really too involved in that kind of stuff, but it seems like our stuff's getting better. We come back to these tracks now for a second time, and I feel like we're faster. We unload better. We always unloaded pretty good, but I feel like we unload even closer now, so that makes your weekends easier, and I'm sure we'll get even better as we go. I know we're going to be doing some more testing here, and hopefully we can learn some more on the tracks upcoming.
When you say better than them, you mean Hendrick?
I just think everybody's getting better. I just think we're closing the gap a little bit more now.
Okay, we'll take another question up front from David, then go back to Bob and over to Tyler.
David Scott from the Charlotte Observer. Kyle, are you planning on ever going back and racing part-time at short local tracks like that? And you talked about the lighting maybe at the track in New York. When you were back racing in that circuit, did you think about the safety at short tracks and, the walls or that kind of thing, if they required hands and neck braces, that kind of thing? Was that a factor in your decision?
I don't think that had any issue on what happened this weekend. But yeah, I'd like to go race sprint cars still. I love racing those types of cars, and wish I could do more of it this year. But I've been really busy, so maybe during the off season or something, or next year we can get a handful of races in. But I enjoy doing it, and hopefully I can do it the rest of my life.
Okay, we'll go take our next question from Bob. Go ahead.
Bob Hawker, Sporting News. No matter how you view the tragedy on last Saturday, it's obvious that there were driver emotions involved. Have you ever had a point where the emotions have gotten the better to you, to where you feel like, man, I did something that wasn't the most safe?
I'm sure every one of us has done or had at least one time in our careers where we've done something on the racetrack, or when we get out of the car where we look back and think, should have thought twice about it. But I don't know. I think a lot of people now are gonna learn after seeing that video and or hearing about what happened. I think we're all gonna think twice, and if we're upset with somebody, we're gonna think about it before we get out of the car, and or same goes the other way. So just really sucks it all happened.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Tyler, then go back to Marty, then come back up front.
Again, Tyler, MRN. You've raced with Chase Elliott. You've raced with Ryan Blaney. Talk about how talented they are, and do you think they're ready to make that next step? Because you made the step early as well. Talk about how talented they are and your relationship with them, basically.
Yeah, I think Chase and Ryan both are amazing. I thought I had a pretty good year nationwide last year, and Chase has blown that out of the water. So, I definitely think they could hang in the Cup Series for sure. They do a lot of testing already in Cup cars and stuff, so it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary when they get into a Cup car, just different race situations that they'll have to learn. But they obviously learn really quick, especially Chase. And Ryan, I think he's leading the points in the Truck Series too. So, it's neat that Ryan got that opportunity for next year. I think he's going to do a great job, and I'm sure we'll see Chase moving up here sometime shortly.
Okay, we'll take a question from Marty, then come back up front for a couple.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Kyle, this is sort of two parts, so forgive me. The first one is, what's your reaction to the way sprint car racing has been portrayed over the past week? And second, for those of us who've never done it, which is the vast majority of Earth, what are the nuances and the differences between the way those cars operate versus some guy going and getting in his Camry?
Yeah, so I wish sprint car racing is awesome. It's some of the best racing you'll ever see in your life. And over the last couple of years, I just with all the stuff that's gone on, sprint car racing's gotten a bad rap, and I just wish ESPN and stuff could go play highlights of the Knoxville Nationals that just happened this weekend and see how good the racing was there and how it is every weekend. And they race 3-4 times a week, and the racing's great. I just wish, rather than it being where everybody just talks about how dangerous it is and you're stupid if you run them and stuff, I just wish you could see the good parts of it. And then I don't know, as far as the way they drive compared to anything else, I mean, it's a race car. It's got a lot of power. I don't know. I hear a lot of people talk about the vision and all that, and I don't know. It is tough, but I don't know. It's hard to explain really how different it is compared to a stock car. Even, I mean, it's still a race car. They drive similar, but I don't know. I just feel bad for sprint car racing because it's what we all love. Myself, Tony, Casey, Ricky, Yaley. I mean, all of us love sprint car racing. We just sucks that it's getting the recognition it's been getting because it's just the bad stuff, not the good stuff.
Final two questions. Go ahead up front, then we'll go to Jim.
Matt Slavin, New York Times. Have you ever been involved, following up on Bob's question, in a on-track confrontation where another driver gets out of his car and confronts you?
Yeah, I'm sure we all have. Usually, though, it's I wreck somebody and they go upside down. It's a red flag, so all the cars are stopped, and they'll come yell at you. But I'm too small to go out and try and get in somebody else's face, so I already knew that going into it. So, but yeah, I mean, we've all gotten frustrated. Every one of us has gotten frustrated and gotten mad at somebody. It's just the way people handle it differently.
Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Jim Pels, the LA Times. Kyle, the same question, only a different way. For those of us who don't go to a lot of sprint car races, is it unusual for a driver who's angry to get out of the car and actually walk on the track the way Kevin did, even when drivers are upset with each other?
You see it in NASCAR races, you see it in sprint car races, you see it in street stock races, wherever. People get mad, they get out and point their finger, tell the other driver they're number one. But it's just, I don't know, like I said, people are going to think twice about it now after that, after that deal last week. I don't think you'll see, I'm sure you still see people get out and point and stuff, but I'm sure they won't venture too much away from their own race car from now on.